Everybody, welcome to the table, the library of secrets here at Questwise. And today I want to do a little bit of an unboxing for you. I don't know if I've ever really talked about Call of Cthulhu on the channel before, but it's one of my favorite games. And it's one of my favorite games because you can do a lot with it. There's a lot of flexibility with this game. One of the things that I love about it is the percentile system that it uses. It just seems to make a lot of sense to me. It seems very intuitive to me as a role-playing system. Although I don't know if I would like it very much for things like heroic fantasy or science fiction. I think it works very, very well for Call of Cthulhu. Now, I run a lot of Call of Cthulhu games that have nothing to do with the Cthulhu mythos. But what I love about this game is it's flexible enough to be able to use in any sort of time period. And I can play with history. It's one of my favorite things that I love about role-playing games is taking what-if scenarios from history and changing them and doing cool things with them and exploring how players with their characters might interact with cool things like that as well. We're not here to talk about this today, though. We're here to talk about a cool product that I know I might be a little bit behind the times on, but this is still fairly new. This is the Call of Cthulhu starter set. And I thought that I would do an unboxing for you because I think that this is a product that is very, very, very well done. And if you want to explore Call of Cthulhu, this is a great place to start. Like I said, this is fairly new. Just came out this last year. I think it's been a long time in coming since they've needed to do something like this. But there's some really great stuff in here, and they've done some very good sort of design work and some thought behind this whole thing. So this is made by Mike Mason and friends. I think Paul Fricke is in there as well too. But this is the starter set. It's not a very thick box, but you do get a lot of really, really cool stuff in it. So let's crack it open and I'll show you what I mean. So the box, first and foremost, the box is really, really nice. It is very heavy duty for a small little box. They could have went cheap with this, but they didn't. Very, very cool. I find it very, very useful to store it in on the shelf. First things first, you're going to get a set of dice. And again, this is well thought out as a product as well too. Normally you're using just percentile dice, but there'll be certain situations where you might need a D4 or a D6. I don't ever remember using a D20 in Call of Cthulhu, but they throw one in there for you anyway. You're going to get 3 10-sided dice because in this game you have things, or at least in this edition, you have bonus dice, and they might be good or they might be bad, and so they throw an extra one in there for you for just such a purpose. So really nice, you know, they're general dice, but it's cool that they thought this out ahead of time. Book 1, Alone Against the Flames. I'm going to do a playthrough of this. It will be a huge spoiler playthrough if I do it, because it is a wonderful solo adventure that teaches you the game as you play along through it. I've played it a couple of times. So because it's a sort of choose your own adventure type of an idea, the outcome can be different every time you play it, although the storyline itself remains the same for the most part. Alone Against the Flames is one of the coolest. And I know there's a few other ones out there as well too. There might be, I think there's one like Alone Against the Frost or something as well now too. But these are solo adventures, and I'll show you just as you open the book. It kind of explains to you an overview of the game and what it is. And then it gives you an example of play and how this all plays out and how it's going to work. And then it jumps right in. You just take a blank character sheet and you sit down with this book and you start at number 1. And you will work your way through this by the decisions you make. The cool thing about this is it creates a character for you as you play. By making decisions, it'll tell you to do certain things. It'll tell you to add a number to this part. It'll tell you to, roll some dice for this aspect. And as you play through the scenario, your character, not only the story does it develop, but your character develops as well too. And I found that really, really cool. And the way that this is paced, I never felt like it got clunky. I never felt like it got weird. And I also really, really enjoyed the story. The story is really good. There was a lot of tension building that they did in the story, and it was a lot of fun to play. So I highly recommend Alone Against the Flames. Now, you can get this separately. Excuse me. You can get this. I originally bought it as a PDF through DriveThruRPG. By the way, if you'd like to get a copy of the PDF of this and or just Alone Against the Flames, you can use my DriveThruRPG affiliate link, which will be down in the show notes below. And if you do buy it through my affiliate link, it'll bring a little bit of cool new products to the channel as well too. So book 1, Alone Against the Flames. Book 2 are the Introductory Rules. Now this is where I really appreciate this box set, because a lot of times when you get starter sets, it will give you pre-generated characters, which this one does, but it also gives you the ability to create your own characters. And I really, really like that. It's sort of like the Essentials kit. So the starter kit for Dungeons & Dragons did the same thing. It gave you just pre-made characters. You didn't have a way to make your own characters. And I was a little bummed by that, but the adventure in that game was really, really good. The Essentials kit came out and gave you the basic rules and the ability to create your own characters. This does both. This box set, even though it's small, gives you the ability to play pre-generated characters or to create your own. Now, this is a very, very, chunked down version of what you're going to find in the core rulebook, but it does give you enough to create some characters. So it tells you how to do attributes and how to roll that kind of stuff up and do characteristics and stuff as well too. And it gives you just a few occupations. Not a lot. Now you're going to get tons more in the core rulebook, but here's enough to actually get started. And I plan on using this to teach people how to play Call of Cthulhu at my friendly local game store. And I'm just going to use these. I think there's everything you're going to really need in here. You're going to get antiquarian, author, Delante, director or doctor of medicine, journalist, police detective, private investigator, and professor. Basically, the core group of occupations. So it's nice that it gives you the ability to create your own characters in book 2. Book 3 are the adventures, some other adventures and stuff in here as well too. There's some great adventures in here that sort of span different time periods to kind of give you the idea, the feel of, excuse me again, to give you a feel of how flexible this game is and how much this game can be used across any sort of time period. So the adventures that you're going to get are, I thought I had them all listed in here. Oh, it is. So you're going to get Paper Chase, Edge of Darkness, and Dead Man Stomp. Now, these have been other places. You can buy these separately. You can find them online. Some of them were from previous editions and stuff as well, too. But very, very cool. All fully detailed with, these are all pre-generated characters, which they have full character sheets for in the box, which we'll get to. And it goes into all the adventures and stuff in here as well, too. So book 3 is Paper Chase and other adventures that you can play with your friends. So the rest of this is supplemental material. So this kind of gives you a rundown on what's in the box. Here are those pre-generated characters that I was talking about. I love that they give you, it's a black and white sheet, but I love that they give you color kind of reference photo. They're all setted out, ready for you to go. And they are double-sided. What I really, really like about these is it has a backstory already built into it. So you can use these. You can run through some of the adventures to play through. And then if you like the character, you can just continue on with this character onto other adventures. So you get a bunch of those. But then you also get some blank character sheets. You get quite a few of them, actually. There's probably 5 or 6 here of just blank character sheets that you can use right out of the box or photocopy for your use, which is great. And then here's all the extra material. These are all the handouts for the adventures in the Paper Chase book. These are all handouts, table handouts that you can give to the players, and I really like that. The other thing that's really great is in the adventure book, these are all replicated again for the Game Master, or the Keeper of Secrets, as they're called in the Call of Cthulhu universe. So you don't have to like, oh, can I see that back? I need to read something real quick. They're all in the adventure book already for you. So that's really a cool aspect. And I'm not going to show these all to you because I don't want to spoil anything. But there are maps as well, which is really, really cool. And, of everything. Trinity Cemetery there as well, too. And then for the last adventure, there's this cool map of Harlem in 1925. Very, very cool map. I really like this a lot. And this is, again, replicated in the adventure book and stuff as well, too. So, Call of Cthulhu, the starter box, the starter kit, right? You're going to get some really, really, really great stuff in here. I highly recommend it. The best thing is, retail, if you buy it from your friendly local game store, $24.99. That's right, $25. You're going to get all this great stuff. Very, very cool. If you've ever been curious about Call of Cthulhu, or if you already play, there's some great stuff in here as well, too. Like I said, I'm going to use this to teach some people here in my local area how to play. But if you'd like to get Alone Against the Flames, just separately by itself, or some of the other material in this box as well, too, please use my affiliate link for DriveThruRPG down below, and you can get those as well. So until next time, I'm Questwise, and I am out.